Hello. As educators now throughout the United States and the world are trying to figure out how to put it all together with teaching online in a short period of time, I thought I would share what I know about the best practices for teaching online. So, I myself am at a school where we are quickly putting together our plans. However, we have been working on it for 2 weeks, and just yesterday is when our governor here in Minnesota has stated that we should be developing online plans. I thought I would share what we have already developed. So, the big thing is to keep online learning simple. We're going to have a lot of students learning a lot of new technology, new platforms, new ways to learn. So it's really good to just keep everything simple. We're not trying to build a year-long program for a fully functioning online school. We are dealing with a national crisis right now, and we are trying to pull what we can together to best educate our students. The big thing now as educators is we need to be asking questions to our colleagues, to administration, to other people to help us navigate this new world, but to also make the best program for our school and for our own classrooms. For example, pulling together technology that we're all using throughout our buildings so that students are not going to be navigating through a whole bunch of different platforms, a whole bunch of new websites that they have to learn and try to figure out. If we can all be using the same kind of platforms, the same kind of technology, the same Web 2.0 tools, then our students will be able to be more successful. Remember, we have diverse learners. Some will pick up technology quickly, some won't. So if we can keep it simple and also keep our instruction simple, then our students will be more successful. So, of course, when going online, some students are going to be overwhelmed, staff as well, but some students will be overwhelmed. So, when teaching your courses, lessen your workload. Students usually take longer to understand when they can't ask questions and get that immediate feedback. So, they're not used to this environment either. So, less is more. If you have a 50-minute class period, then maybe plan for 30 minutes worth of work at the beginning. Don't go and push more. With online learning, the students are probably working at a slower pace. And also, if, for example, you teach high school, your high schooler might be helping elementary students in the same house try to learn new websites, new platforms, new everything. So being respectful to the fact that our students are going to be having a lot on their plates is going to be helpful in the long run. Also, if you can post office hours where your students know that they can have a conversation with you, there's numerous tools where if you want to go live and have a meeting like on VoiceThread where 5 or 6 students can meet up and ask questions about specific math problems, then you can go and do that. And you can go and, screencast or do whatever you need to do to go and show the students, walk through problems. There's plenty of technology out there, but just having that specific office hour available can really help. Or just note that that's the time where you're going to be responding to as many emails as possible, or going into the Google Classroom or the Canvas and responding to comments as fast as you possibly can. This will really help. And then also ask your students for feedback. See if they are learning well in your classroom. Of course, if they're just kind of saying the online format is horrible, it's bad, well, ask them to be a little bit more specific. See if maybe another teacher's doing something that is helping them to be more successful. Be open to change if need be. If your state is going to mandate attendance, then think of creative ways to just kind of see if the students are there. Yes, they can watch like a 10-minute video that hopefully if you have subtitles that work, that you will have that in place, and ask 1 to 2 simplistic questions to verify that they watched it. That is a way to take attendance. But you could also just have an unrelated question. What are you doing for fun while all of this is going on? What song did you listen to yesterday? Post a funny meme that'll make us all laugh, but it's still classroom appropriate. Things like that can really help the students as they go through this entire experience. Now, There is going to be questions as in terms of how do you format your classroom? Are you going to be going and doing whole class discussions? Well, if you have a communications class, a public speaking class, you might want to be able to have something like maybe VoiceThread or other programs where all the students can see each other and you can talk to each other, and that can work. But if you do that, make sure that you're doing a time of the day where most students can be helping with that, since some students might be in charge of the household during the daytime hours if parents are still working. Maybe 7 p.m. would work for them. So maybe you might need to have two different offerings for that live chat with your entire class. So try to be open to that. I've had various classes where you send out, when I was a grad student, and I still am a grad student, where the professors have sent out Google Forms for us to fill out to say, yes, this time and this time would work for me. And if you can find the best time to meet, then we can be successful with our students. Of course, you can also just simply use your portal if you're using like Google Classroom, Canvas, whatever you're doing, Moodle, any of these D2L programs that you can go and communicate and post your work to. Then yeah, you have that, and you can just simply post lectures, post worksheets that you have, or worksheets that like you even get off of Teachers Pay Teachers or something else. Post those things for the students to be successful just on that, and that maybe is all you need to do. And then just respond via email and Google Comments, Google Classroom Comments or Canvas Comments, to be able to have the students ask for feedback. That might be something that works for you. Now, when giving homework because now it all is homework, when giving an assignment, make sure that you are very clear and concise with your directions. Don't use words that they're not going to understand, and try to have a checklist. Yes, rubrics are very good. But if you do a rubric, I would maybe record a little video explaining the rubric so that the students understand all parts of it, unless it's something that they're used to because you've been using it throughout the entire year. But maybe at this point, you might want to switch over to a clear and concise checklist, something that the students know, okay, I have to do this, I've done it. Now I have to do this, now I've done it. Now I have to do this, now I've done it. And that can really help them walk through all steps of a project or all steps of an assignment. And they know then that they have been successful with the task. And again, if you create a question and answer spot in your Google Classroom, in your Canvas, where the students know I can ask a question here and I can get an answer, maybe another student will even answer your question before you can even sign in to answer the question. So if you have an open Q&A spot, then students will be more successful. But just keep it clear, keep it concise. Now, ever since schools have been closing, numerous places or online businesses have been switching their resources to being free or to being at a lower cost. But there's a whole bunch of different online meeting platforms that you can go and do a Google search for. And then there's just a whole lot of ways that you can, for example, make a video like I am making here and post it to, say, Google Classroom. You have Loom you can use if you're using like an iPad. You can use Notability, where then you can record a PowerPoint that you just upload into Notability, and you can write all over it. If you're a math teacher and you want to write all over something so that students can see a math problem, then Notability might be something for you. If you're just recording, like I'm doing right now, a PowerPoint, then you might just only need something right now, which is free for educators, Loom. If you want to go and talk and see other people and do something like that, you can use Zoom or you can use VoiceThread. If you want to use a more sophisticated program for doing a screen video cast and do some edits to it, then you might want to use WeVideo. If you want students to be able to record their video screen, and send something like they're going to be doing a PowerPoint themselves and recording what they would have said in front of the classroom and now sending it to you, then maybe you might want to have them use Screencast-O-Matic. But there's so many tools out there, and I'm going to be posting links here for you to be able to use. Now, special education is going to have to try to figure out what works best for them at each and every school. But if you can add the special education teacher to your online platform like Google Classroom, then that will help possibly them, unless they, are now going to be invited into 200 different classrooms. But find out from them what they need from you as a general education teacher so that they can be successful as a special education teacher. Again, try to keep things simple. If you can just simply add them to the Google Classroom or add your parent to the Google Classroom so that they can see what's going on and maybe they can help a student edit their essay, then that's more help for you and for them. Now, for some courses, your school might need to think about, can we still operate choir this way? Well, maybe we might have to switch and say, hey, we're halfway through the semester. Maybe now it's a 0.25 credit of choir and a 0.25 personal lesson. You might need to be a little bit creative, but talk to administration and see what they want to do for each and every course that you have. Now, every single district is going to have to figure out, what are we doing with technology problems? How are you going to handle the my internet isn't working if we know they have internet? My computer broke, my this, because technology problems do happen. Laptops do fall off the kitchen table and smash on the floor. And what are we going to do? Do we have a phone number that the students can call and leave a message or talk to somebody to help with technology problems? That's going to be highly successful for them. So, yeah. Please like and subscribe below if you would like to have more information. I'm going to be posting several videos here to try to help teachers as we all walk through this new situation of switching to distance learning, to online learning. And if you have any questions, write them in the comments and I will try to respond to you. Thank you very much.